Way to do that is to show you the calendars that are out available all around town, as you may have seen, showing the Maloney not only basketball but girls basketball and wrestling and the boys swimming schedule. And of course we also have the Wilcox Regional Tech one showing both their boys and girls basketball as well as their outstanding rifle team. And they're about ready to get underway for their second meeting of the season here at Maloney High School. And we're going to have a beauty and let the records go right out the window in a game like this between two coaches who are both 300 game winners. And we have Judy Sochin, our scorekeeper and announcer, who will be introducing the Star Spangled Banner as well as the players from the teams. And I gather the player introduction will come first. So they're announcing some of the rules right now. Maloney going into this game is not only the Colonial Conference champion again, they had been away from that for a while, but they are also the city champs. Okay, there's the freshman for Wilcox, Mark Kingsland. Guy Outlaw, the center, number 34. He's a junior, had 14 points against Berlin the other night. Mike Mercaldi, number 22, one of the three seniors on the squad. Rob Formansky, 42, one of these, a big high scorer for the club frequently. And John DeGello, the other senior, a 12-point performance against Berlin. Unfortunately, we don't have too many other statistics about the Indians. Under Joe Shapucci, who are 6-12 this far this season. Maloney 15-3. Don Green, second leading scorer in average at least, the 15.3. Jim Biestick, the junior center at 6'3". Dave Sosnowski with an 11.6 average, goes 200 pounds, 6'2". Rod Green, one of the co-captains, the high scorer average-wise, 15.8. And Randy Marrow, the other co-captain, and the guy that gets introduced last is always the one who has the tough one because all the other guys race out with him. But here at Maloney High School, we'll now all stand for our national anthem. And the video equipment and personnel are through the courtesy of the Living Faith Christian Fellowship out of Milford, Connecticut. Pastor Joe Soretta, whom you can hear on WFIF, will tell you more about them coming up. We're about ready to get underway with Guy Outlaw and Jim Biestick. Or check me on that, it's Don Green jumping center, even though he's the forward. I just automatically look, and Wilcox controls the ball to start with. John DeGello. Over into the corner and off the rim on the shot by Mike Mercaldi. Maloney's ball. Nice pass off, and the first score of the game by Dave Sanowski on the pass from co-captain Rod Green. They'll still fill each other out a little bit, even though they've played each other so far this one time before this season. In fact, that was a momentous occasion for Coach Norb Fahey. Good jump shot from the side of the key by Sosnowski. I'm sorry, by Formansky, 42. Caught me. Takes me about a minute and a half to get used to the guys, and then we were all set. Maloney sets up. Point man, Randy Marrow. Nice thing about television coverage is that you don't have to call every little piece of the action like you do on radio, because the camera does it for you. So why should I insult you? Get a jump ball between Marrow and DeGello. And a score for Wilcox as Joe Shapucci's crew comes out quickly. Formansky obviously showing why he is their high scorer. And they're putting on a press. Going to make Maloney earn every point. We said before that was a momentous occasion when they played at Wilcox earlier this season. That was the 300th victory for Norb Fahey. But that still puts him second in victories in the city. One of those spinouts. Fast break, Maloney. Marrow, nice moves. And I was going to say nice tap in, but it spun out twice. I say second in victories in Meriden because many of you basketball fans may know that Joe Shapucci passed that mark some time ago. He's out to about the 365 victory mark. Now they're not falling for either club. First foul of the game. Formansky. The first foul for Wilcox, first foul in the game. Officials, by the way, you just saw George Windish, and his partner is Tom Lodge. Wilcox, great defensive move, gets it away. DeGello works it down from the right side and through. Mark McCaldy. I'll call him McCaldy, and Judy will call him McCaldy, so I'll get it straight yet. Marrow, of course, is obviously the setup man. Good shot from the corner by Sosnowski. So that makes it 6-4 in favor of Wilcox. Another foul called. And this is on Marrow.
His first, team first.
So Mercaldi will go to the line. So one foul on each of the two teams. As we say, the records in a situation like this go out the window in a rivalry that's so long and so intense. These victories over their city foes have a special meaning compared to any other club that either Maloney or Wilcox or Platt, when they're involved, play against each other. Now it's starting to get mean under the boards.
44-22.
Okay.
Fouls on Mike McCaldy. His first.
McCaldy.
Donald Green received one shot.
Don Green, Rod's brother. Don is the younger of the two, 6'2", 180-pound junior. First man to score from the free throw line for the contest tonight. As Wilcox, Mercaldi falling short. Good move, but not satisfactory to him, I'm sure. But Sosnowski comes right back. So now Maloney has taken the lead first time, 9-8. On the side, a spinner. Those are heartbreakers, as Kingsland has it spun right back at him. What I call a boomerang shot. Second foul on Rob Formansky. Third team foul on the Indians. 15-3 Maloney going into this game. 6-12 for Wilcox. Marrow drop pass in, and a beautiful feathered tap shot from inside the key. Don Green, who by the way is the leading rebounder for the Spartans with an 11.5 average per game. Wilcox on a turnover. It'll be Maloney ball. They have an 11-8 lead, and those are the kind of things that build a lead. The kind of things that Wilcox can ill afford, or any club that's behind can ill afford to let it happen. To let another club get momentum, and when they're hot like that, they're hot. Don Green again. 13-8. All of a sudden, Wilcox, having come out strong from the opening gate, can't seem to buy a basket, and with the turnovers, Maloney is taking advantage of it. Knocked out of bounds on that one, though. Marrow thought he had himself a steal and another couple of points. We're at Maloney High School. Their next to last regular season game. They got a biggie coming up against Middletown. It'll be important in their standings in the state playoffs. Sosnowski again. Nice play. Coach Norb Fahey has got these guys well oiled. They are moving well. We got a timeout here for the first time. 15-8 with 3:17 to go in the first period. Maloney leads Wilcox by that score. We started to say earlier that the Spartans were 7-1 in the conference, but they are the Colonial Conference champs already. They already have also won the city championship. That was foregone when even before they got into this game, with a previous victory over Wilcox and 2 victories over Platte. So with their 3 wins, they pretty well had it tied down. It's always close, of course, because there's only the 3 schools in the area. So it's always up for grabs right till you get down to the narrow part of the season. Back against Wilcox on the 17th of January when Norb Fahey got his 300th win of the season. As we take a look at Tom Lodge, one of the 2 officials, and we're back in again. He is now up to 308 in his 26th year of coaching, and of course is also the athletic director here at Maloney High School. We haven't had a chance for the coaches to get too many breaks. And there haven't been too many breaks in the action. When we do, we'll get some shots of Norb Fahey and Joe Sapucci. 2 literally living legends in sports here in Meriden, 26 and 28 years respectively in their coaching ranks. At the same school, Norb here at Maloney and Joe at Wilcox Tech. Of course, it wasn't always called Wilcox Tech, but he's always been the basketball coach. Sosnowski, whoa, is he hot tonight? The one thing I've never been able to do is call a game and keep a running tally at the same time, but as soon as we can. We got our first substitution for Maloney. Craig Durant comes in. 5'11", 170-pound junior who's the halfback on that outstanding football team. But he has finesse as well as muscle. Aggressive play by the Indians' John DeGello, but to no avail as the Spartans control. And they control the board. The Indians control the boards, however, on that missed shot. Got a traveling call. First one of the game. That comes against Formansky, who's sitting with 2 fouls on him at this early in the game, where it's still 2:23 to go in the opening quarter. So it'll be Marrow and Durant now as Durant gets into position. Marrow, the playmaker, gets it back, decides he's got an open field and takes a shot, but it's grabbed away by Rod. I was going to say Rod Green, Gary Outlaw.
What we got? 44.
Numbers are sequence of numbers are very similar for both teams.
34 now. 34.
The Indians start to work it down. Good defense by the Spartans. Force them back. And good rebound shot and brought in there by Gary Outlaw. Guy Outlaw. I don't know what I want to call him. Gary, can't even read my own writing. Up, and it counts, but there's a foul, and Jim Biestick picks up 2 for the Spartans as he is fouled by Mike Mercaldi. Less than 2 minutes to go. Maloney leads at the end in this first quarter by the score of 19-10. One thing I did not mention was that Norb Fahey and Joe Sapucci are not only opponent coaches, as Biestick makes it an even 20, doubling the score, 20-10 Maloney over Wilcox. But Joe Sapucci and Norb Fahey are close personal friends as well. But on the court, when they're playing each other, that friendship gets put in the closet for a couple of hours. I'm your friend, but I'm going to beat your brains out type of thing. You know what I mean? We have another substitute in there now, very quietly. 22, Scott Dargan, as his numeral counterpart, number 22, Mike McCaldy, tries to prevent Don Green from scoring, but doesn't do it.
Maloney foul on Craig Durant.
Craig Durant picks up his first, team's fourth, his first. John DeGello goes to the line. They had a pretty balanced scoring against Berlin in their last game. DeGello, there were four guys in double figures. DeGello was one of them with 12. And he's going for two, and he makes it. That's another substitute, and the other Dargan twin, Stacy. Whoa!
22! 22!
Nice. That barely touched the cloth as well as the rim. That touched our table. There's all that great electronic equipment, and Joe Soretta is back there going, I need this for the ministry Friday night and Sunday, please. Nice block. Must be a nice block because they're not calling a foul. Don Green pounding it out of bounds as the Indians try to narrow the gap. They have a lot of shots spin out on him as Rod Green grabs the rebound, takes it all the way down, but works it out to Dargan. Scott Dargan, he to his twin brother Stacy, back to Scott into the corner, and stops and pops, but won't go in for him for Rod Green. But his brother Don makes up for that. And a fast breakdown by DeGello. As once again Stacy Dargan, number 30, right into our camera range. Spin, but that time it drops in. Maloney has better luck on the spinners. Scott Dargan popping in two more. Another fast break as we come up to the quarter, and at the end of one period it's Maloney 28. See if I can write that down somewhere so it'll come in handy later on. Maloney 28, Wilcox 14 at the end of one period. Now might be a good time for us to get a shot of the coaches. Well, we'll get the Maloney cheerleaders out there. Let's talk about them. I've got the names of the girls. I won't necessarily be able to identify them. I'm tough enough time with the ball players, but let me name them anyway. They're Robin Maskell, Debbie Sutherland, Michelle Liberty, Sherry Joyce. Every time I do this, they walk off the floor, of course. Leslie McDuff, Mary Beth Molis, Sue Wessenberg, Karen Hansen, Jody Cotrella, Jessica Caffrey, and Michelle Diedrich. There's Joe Shapucci. Good shot of him. 28 years coaching, 365 victories, and all at Tech here in Meriden. Spectacular. We'll name the Wilcox cheerleaders when we get a chance. We're back into action here. Another exciting 8-minute period coming up as Mark Kingsland. And it's out of bounds. It will be. I can't see in the camera, can't tell. It's still Wilcox ball. Okay. Back to Kingsland, but they're boxing him right in the corner. Maloney ball. There's a good shot, equal time for George Windish. He and Tom Lodge. You see Lodge in the background there, calling the shots. As it looks like we're back to our Marrow, part of our starting formation. Yes, we are. 32 Don Green, 42 Dave Sosnowski, 52 Jim Biestick, 10 Randy Marrow, the co-captain, along with Rod Green, number 34. Starting the second as they did the first quarter into Biestick and up for two. 30-14. Kingsland works it out. Double in the man, frees the man, go to the top of the key and in for two, and that's Mark Kingsland.
Kingsland.
Fast court, full court pass. Beestick trying to work it out. Luckily, it's grabbed by Don Green, if you're looking at it from a Maloney point of view. As once again, Craig Durant, 5'11", 170-pound junior and football star, is back in action. Coach Fahey calling out the numbers of the plays he wants the guys to follow as Kingsland brings it down for the Indians. Or rather, DeGello, and works it over to Kingsland. And up, but blocked defensively on a beautiful move. Durant in from the right side of the key, making it 32-16. Again, a doubling of the score situation. Not reflective of the way these two teams would normally play against each other. And it won't necessarily stay that way for the length of the game. Good fast court. Fast breaking down, and Marrow just having lady luck. Wave him away, saying, "Not this time, Randy." Whistle call by Windish. I like to rename people as I go along. George is very firm about it. Jim Beestick picks up number 2. Okay, Formansky gets credit for the basket, and now will have a chance for a three-pointer. And makes it. When you see the cameras, we'll get a long distance shot. Maybe from time to time we'll get a chance to go close up when we're having a break in the action on a ton of championship flags in this gym here at Maloney High School. Beestick probably called for traveling. Yes, he was. He went up, then he came down, and he tried to go up again. Can't do that, Jim. And Windish called that one right away. Maloney, rather Wilcox, trying to fast break this time, working it over to McCaldy. Back out quickly to Kingsland, shoots from the top of the key, but Wilcox is getting close to that basket, but it's, boy, that's tough. It always looks easier than it is to do. I know, that's why I never played many games, only broadcast them or write about them. Marrow up. It's a large hole, but it's a large ball, too, and there's really not very many inches between the edge of the ball and the edge of the rim. McCaldy called for a foul. Oh, Kingsland. I thought he said 22. All right. But it's Jim Beestick to the line. 32-19. See, I told you that doubling of the score wouldn't last that long. Now it's 33. They got to go some to double it now. And it'll be obviously progressively tougher as the score begins to build up. Beestick missing on the second shot. And a second chance, and the basket counts, and he will go to the line as Don Green, the leading rebounder for the Spartans. About 11 and a half a game. Missed on his first try, got it again, got his second try, and picked up a shot for a three-pointer in the process. Talking about those flags, you can see them in the back of the basket there. When the action is when there's a break in the action, we'll take a look at a couple of close-ups of them, but one of them says 78-79 SEAC Class L District 1 Region Basketball Champions for the boys, and then the Colonial Conference 78-79 and 79-80. That was their last Colonial Conference championship, and they have won it again here in 83-84 after a couple of years hiatus. Guy Outlaw, the junior who had 14 points the other night against Berlin, still has a hot hand. Traveling is called on Don Green.
Same thing on here, that one, right? Five. Find him.
Norb Fahey and Joe Shapucci are what I call quiet coaches. Well, I've seen my share of coaches who would scream their lungs out. Good play. Don Green. Great play, though. Wish we could. Oh, great steal there by Durant. Craig goes in and just misses, and back comes Rod Green to take advantage of the situation. But one of the things that the Indian defense did was they stayed back when they figured that Randy had it all to himself, and when he missed the basket, they could have had a rebound, but they weren't there. Never stop playing good defense under any situation, as long as that ball is in play. Coach will tell you that till you're blue in the face. Bob Formansky. Close up and personal. That's how they say it on ABC, right? Well, it's close up anyway. 19-point scorer, the senior, in the game against Berlin. Picks up another point there. It's 40-22. He's going to have a chance for another one and gets it. Slices the net. Rod Green being fouled by his numerical counterpart, Guy Outlaw. 34 fouls, 34. Started to say before, both Norb and Joe are quiet coaches. Norb is off the bench and calls plays more than Joe does. Joe does it in his own quiet way, but neither one of them are obstreperous or, you know, outlandish. Nothing like the guy from Maryland. That's all I'm going to say on the college rank. But it's a wonder, you know, I figure every time I watch him coach, he's going to have a heart attack. Lefty something, yeah, okay. Indians down. Try to get up and go for the rebound, but fouled in the process. I believe it'll be Don Green picking that. Yep, Don Green. George Windish giving us the 3-2 indication.
Guy Outlaw will be shooting 2 shots.
28-14. Maloney led at the end of the 1 quarter mark, and with 3:51 to go in the 2nd quarter, they lead by the score of 42-23. So that means they have outscored Wilcox thus far in this period by the score of 14-9. Marrow can't see his shot, gets it over to Dargan. That is Stacy Dargan, and now it's not falling for the Spartans. In the 1st quarter, it was the Indians who were having that problem. Formansky works it out to Outlaw. Quickly over to DeGello. He's into the corner. Kingsland back to DeGello. Whoo! Barely touched the rim on that one. Just sliced the nets. There may be some prettier things in sports than a swish by a good basketball shot, but not many. Can't think of any offhand. Except maybe remembering vividly Phil and Steve Marr coming down the slopes in the Olympics for those gold and silver medals. That was beauty. But it's when it's a perfected art by a ball player, whether it's high school, college, or pros, it's a pretty thing to watch. Jump shot, a rimmer by Paul Varley in there now for Wilcox. And the Indians just having trouble under their own boards, and the Spartans decide to grab it away. Marrow, top of the key, decides to turn around.
Overload here, overload here.
Unintentionally worked out to Rod Green. Now it's intentionally worked to Rod over in the corner, but bounced back out of bounds by Outlaw.
Stacy, that's you.
Stacy Dargan. And alertly picked off by John DeGello. Saw exactly where Dargan was going to pass it. Those are the kind of things that after a little bit more experience you learn you don't do them as often. Nice behind the back move by Rod Green, but to no avail. But they did come back as Stacy Dargan gets the rebound and pops it through. That is one of the significant things that stands out to me as a first-time observer of these two ball teams. I've never seen either one of these two clubs play before. Outlaw again. Just can't buy a basket, these guys. You can tell that they normally don't have this kind of a problem. They're just too good of a ball club. But Maloney intimidates you with that second and third and fourth effort under their own boards and under the opponent's boards. But under their own boards, they just don't let the opposition get in there and get any defensive rebounds. And a good shot here of Norb Fahey. That's what we were looking for. And we'll get another one of him in the future. 308 wins. His good friend and opponent coach in this event, Joe Shapucci of Wilcox Tech, with 365, both of them lifelong here in Meriden. Norb at Maloney, Joe at Tech.
55 now.
You hardly get that many guys in coaching ranks, high school, college, or anywhere. Of course, they don't last that long in college in some cases. As Don Green pumps in more points for the Spartans, 46-25 now. Here he is. Oh, we almost had him. We also had the camera swinging around to pick him up, but those things happen. Joe will tell his cameraman, you move when I tell you to move. Not until. But fast-paced action, you tend to want to swing the camera at your own instincts. Can't do that in this business. Kingsland, foul. Probably by Dargan. Yes, he is laughing. Scott Dargan. What, me? With a big smile on his face. I love it. Did I do that? Close up on John DeGello. At the line, his club is down by 21 points. Certainly doesn't show in the faces of the Wilcox Indians, their intensity. They're not intimidated by it at all. But they're intimidated by that particular rim. I wonder if their luck will change when they switch and go the other way.
55.
Looking at some statistics here. Now I found what I was looking for, and I don't have time to give them to you. Another sub end. It's let me check. Oh, 40. Floyd Harris, a freshman for the Indians. And another one of that basket is jinxed for the Indians, as it now prevents a shot by Mark Kingsland from going in. Scott Dargan picks up number 2 in the personal foul department. As Guy Outlaw gets one, and we'll look for another one. Both teams are into the bonus foul category. So you'll see a lot of the two-shotters before the half is over, but there's only 1:16 to go. Marrow, corner to Rod Green, another one of those beauties, the co-captain. High scorer for this ball club, 15.8. His average going into tonight's contest against the Indians. As DeGello, see the difference? It's almost like it was jinxed, like there was a cover on the thing for the Indians. At halftime, Coach Shapucci, finally the Indians break it from the corner. DeGello finally picks up 2 more, 48-29. Nice moves by Rod Green. Rodney just, that and obvious foul. Wasn't smiling this time, though. Scott Dargan, I'm sure, didn't intend to in any way hurt Guy Outlaw, but he did do a number on him. Guy is limping a little bit.
Guy Outlaw will be shooting 1 and 1.
He's a muscular boy, but he's on the thin side, as you would expect of a basketball player because of his height. And you don't take too many bumps like that. This is not a football game or a rugby game. But it didn't seem to intimidate his scoring eye any. But I think either in the hip or the upper thigh. He is smarting, but he's moving all right now. Stacy Dargan. Now into the game, Kewan Potts, number 14, as Coach Fahey gets some experienced court time for some of his younger ball players. He's only got 3 seniors on this whole squad. And of course, he's got a championship year this year again. After a couple of years of not tasting the sweet taste of championship situations. Good years, but now they are back to being the Colonial Conference champs that they were back in 78, 79, and 79 and 80. As Coach Fahey gets back on the bench. He's up more, as I said, than Coach Shapucci. So you don't get too many shots at Joe, but we'll have our chance. Spectacular. 365 victories in 28 years of coaching. There aren't many guys that can say it. Having a tough year, this year's team, after a great season last year. And at the buzzer, and they're going to count it. It's 54-30 at the half. Stacy Dargan, 54-30. So in the second quarter, Wilcox came up with 16 points, but Maloney outscored him 26. So it's 26-16. And now we got the Maloney cheerleaders. Again, let's go through the girls' names, because we've only done that once, and maybe the Wilcox girls will have a chance for equal time if they come out. Robin Maskill, Debbie Sutherland, Michelle La Liberty, Sherry Joyce, Leslie McDuff, Mary Beth Molis, Sue Wessenberg, Karen Hansen, Jody Catrala, Jessica Caffrey, and the very nice young lady who was kind enough to put the whole list together for me, humbly puts herself at the bottom of the list, Michelle Diedrich, who is on the very right far side there. There, as our other camera looks at her, she is in the foreground.
Accompanied by the Maloney pep band.
And now we're going to have some halftime entertainment. I don't know what they call these young ladies. I didn't know they were coming out. I'll have to find that out for you. You probably know, and I don't. But they look like they're going to put on a baton twirling exhibition. But I do want to mention that the band director is Carl Kumi, and the Maloney band over there has been entertaining us before the game. Oh, a little show at halftime here. What would you like to do? Would you like to stay with it for a little bit, or it's all very, you know, non-commercial in nature, so except I don't think I can talk over the band. So I think maybe what we'll do is, after we watch a few minutes of the girls in performance, is we will fade to black very quickly, but don't go away, because we will have nothing in between and start right back up again. If you're gonna go grab something cold from the refrigerator, now's the time to do it and get back quick to watch the girls, okay? Or we'll be back for the second half action. Dave Sweet here at Maloney High School with the Spartans taking on the Indians from Wilcox, and we'll be back very quickly with the second half. just picking up the points here for Rod Green, who had 10 and all coming in the second quarter, and Saz had 10. But the high scorer thus far in the game is 18 points and 9 rebounds by Don Green. Boy, did he have a first half. Now let's see if Wilcox has any better luck shooting at this basket on the opposite side of the court. So far it doesn't look it, but they have picked up a foul in the process because Guy Outlaw heads up to the line. Jim Beestick picks up number 3. First team foul for the Spartans in the second half. They led by 28-14 at the end of the first quarter and 54-30 at the half. They intimidate you with that second, third, and fourth effort. Beautiful shot. Don Green now up to 20 points. Maybe we can keep a running tab on him. I don't know how, but DeGello intimidated by the defense. Okay, I'm going to write down here Don Green plus 20 plus 18 in the first half. There he is now. But an unselfish ball player. Beestick in, nice play. Almost an alley-oop, but Jim was really standing on the floor when he got it, so you can't count that. Green works it into Beestick again underneath. 2 more for him. See, that's what I mean. There's a Rod Green who had a chance for a couple more points. He was right in the key, but he knew you don't shoot from there. Now he steals. Boy, is he a good all-around ball player. Gets it over to his brother Rod. Up 2 more. Bang, 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 bang. That's how they do it. The Maloney Spartans. Now it's 64-32, and they made a liar out of me. They have, even though the score is up there in the higher double digits, they are doubling it again. Guy Outlaw. Same problem as before on the opposite basket. They're just spinning out on him. Rodney works it into Beestick. Beestick, 2 more. Beestick, no, I'm sorry, that's Saz. Dave Sosnowski. I just saw the 2 there, and they're both pretty big guys. And from the back, see, the Indians can't buy one. And Beestick battling with 2 Indians there. Outlaw and Formansky, but it was determined to get it away. Obviously, you know what Jim's nickname is. With a name like Beestick, he's stuck with it for the rest of his life, being that big a guy and that rugged a guy. Especially as an athlete. Marrow didn't have the eye for that one from the corner. Bounced back on him, but Rod Green, and now let's see if Don can get it. No. Now the jinx has suddenly hit the Spartans. That won't count. George Windish.
Foul on Rob Formansky, his 4th. Team first.
Formansky to the line. Not having quite the game that he had the last game for the Indians against Berlin when he scored 19 points. But he picks one up there. 60. I think they gave 67-32. Okay. I'm calling the wrong guy. That's why. Should have Sosnowski, not Formansky. Another call as Tom Lodge. DeGello, who along with Kingsland will work it down, and again the jinx hits McCaldy. Either way, I suppose Mike prefers McCaldy. That's the way Judy Sochin calls him, the scorekeeper and the announcer here at Maloney High School, who's also a teacher on the staff and was very helpful with us when we were getting our TV equipment set up with not only some of the information but some of the wiring as well. Bing. DeGello decides to start working on narrowing it down. It's 67-34 Maloney. Marrow. Stolen away by the Indians. Nice move from the corner by McCaldy and in for two. Now all of a sudden they found something there. Somebody took the lid off the top of the basket for them. So this quarter, which is 4:17 remaining, so it's just about at the halfway mark, the momentum has swung. Now quick 2 points. The Green brothers certainly can pump it in through that hoop. Outlaw. 69-38. Marrow down, top of the key. Nice pass into Green. Don bings up two more. And I think I may have somewhere along the line forgot to add up for Don, but that's at least 22. Norv Fahey always lets his ball players know when they come off the bench that he appreciates the effort they put out. And boy, they do put out too. They have just been running and gunning all night long here at Maloney High School in what is always a big game, regardless of the fact that the Spartans go in 15-3 and the Indians come in 6-12. You throw records away when it's an intra-city rivalry at any time. DeGello rebounding and popping back up, but it's a rimmer. As Saz gets all the way down to Don Green, he got two more. Son of a gun. That kid is having a night and a half. He's getting ready for the playoffs. You can tell that. Now down to his brother Rod. Pops in two. Boy, are they a scoring punch and a machine or what? That fast break, they have got down to a science here.
Oh, yes.
And now Scott Dargan, or Stacy Dargan rather, and it's Dave Sosnowski that has it. He gets it back to Rod. He pumps it in for two more. Now it's the Green side of the family that Rodney controls. He's got the hot hand. Between Rod and Don, they are doing something else, and that's Stacy Dargan. Again with a big grin on his face saying, did I really do that? I thought I hit the ball. You know, the old Groucho Marx routine. DeGello to the line. 78-38. I didn't expect that at this stage of the game the spread would be quite that big. 2:40 to go, third quarter. We may see Maloney go over the century mark in this one. At my side is Dave Sullivan from the Record Journal, covering the game for the Meriden fans. Has Maloney done that before the season, Dave? They gone over the 100 mark before? They haven't. 99, 98, 89. Well, they're going to top 89 tonight for sure. They may go over the 100. And it's plays like that. Again, that second and third effort. Scott Dargan. Anybody can do it on this ball club. It's not the Greens. It's not the Beast. It's not just Saz or Randy Marrow, who of course likes to play his game primarily feeding the other guys, but the Dargans can do it too. So can Craig Durant and all the guys. DeGello get the last 2 points for the Indians. Goes to pass, but it's too high, and that's the corner of the board. Saz down top of the key. Nice pass to Rod Green. That's what you call teamwork. Game moves so fast it had our cameraman all shook up there. Stacy Dargan. The Saz, who just made that gorgeous move before. Now makes one of his own. And he and his numeral namesake, Bob Formansky, 42 against 42. What do you call that? The Saz against the form, I guess, huh? 82, 7 points away from their season high. And one 1:24 to go, and it's only the third quarter. From Maloney's point of view, at least, we may have picked a perfect game to videotape, as the guys will have available them copies of a game that I'm sure they're not going to forget for a long time, because it's, as we say, against the intra-city rival, and it always adds something to the game. Scott, or rather Craig Durant, stopping and popping for 2 more. 6 shy from the 90 mark. DeGello to Outlaw and in. They're starting to fall for the Indians, but it may be too little too late. Marrow breaks all the way down. This time decides to go for himself and picks up a personal in the process against him. And it's against Guy Outlaw, so Randy will step to the line. He says, I give it away all the time. I thought I would keep it for myself once in a while. Don't blame him. He had the open side of the key, and he saw it and he went for it. And if you can't get to 2, maybe you can pick up 2 from the 3-throw line, although we're not into the bonus situation, but he was shooting. Okay, and now Tom Lodge is changing something here.
Wilcox foul, Mark Kingsland.
Okay, it's against Kingsland, not Guy Outlaw. Guy brought it up to Tom Lodge, and Tom said, oh, I'm sorry, and he came over and corrected it. Randy Marrow. Little shy. Randy's getting the Wilcox disease. It's bouncing back at him. Boy, and you have a night like that, there's nothing you can do to keep playing your game to snap out of it. But Randy does it. He had 2 shots, of course, because he was in the act of shooting when he picked up the foul. Kingsland falls for him. See, once in a while they will do that, and you hope that more of them do. They had an awful lot of bad luck in the first half with balls that just were right in the range, but would either spin out or bounce out on them. Of course, that's the name of the game. Again, Marrow draws the foul, and again in the act of shooting, and this time it is Guy Outlaw. At least that's what George Windish says. Let's see if Guy fights this one. No, he's going to admit to this one. He corrected him on the one before, and then they changed it. Randy says, well, if I can't get in among all those big guys, Randy stands at 5'10". Rod Green is 6'0", Jim Beestick 6'3", but he's trying to get through some big guys on that Wilcox squad, and he says, if I can't drive through them and score points on a layup, he says, I'll do it from the free throw line. Good defensive maneuver by the Saws. Works it over to Marrow. Marrow pops. That time he got it from the field. As DeGello down slowly and swishes it through the hoop. A pretty sight. I don't care what you say, the game of basketball, it's a pretty sight when you see it flowing smoothly like it does, and especially on a swisher like that. 89-48 at the third quarter mark. And that means that Maloney came up with 35 points in that third quarter to 18 for the Indians, and they have matched their season high, and they've got 1 quarter to go. As we look at Joe Shapucci giving instructions to his Indians. When we set up the cameras here at Maloney High School, by the nature of the setup, you have to put them on this side, and unfortunately the coaches were on this side as well, and there's a different angle from it. Let's see if it knows. No, naturally Joe walks away on the other side. He's camera shy is what he is. Quiet guy. You're going to learn an awful lot of basketball from a man like that, or from the other fellow here on the opposite side of the gym, Norb Fahey. 2 of them between them have 673 victories. 308 for Norb, 365 for Joe, 26 and 28 years respectively. Like I said way back at the beginning of the contest, as we get ready for the fourth quarter and we're underway, 300 victories are a spectacular thing for any coach when you have 2 in one community. Mike McCaldy, he's been quietly pumping them in all night long. Maloney, no fast break this time, settling it down. They can do it either way. That's the nice part about their attack. As in the game now, Kewin Potts again. 5'4", 130 pounds. Good little playmaking guard. A junior, so another whole season, as do most of the players for Maloney, for Norb Fahey. Wide of the mark on that one for DeGello. Craig Durant behind the back pass, but a little too much spin and a little too high. The idea was right. In the game now also for the Spartans, number 50, Willie Dudley. Almost a steal away by Potts. But DeGello will have none of that. And Dudley gets it under the basket, works it out to Stacey Dargan. All by himself to the top of the key. Stops, pops, but to no avail. And up, as the reserves are now in, John Zakowski, number 54. And Norb Fahey, knowing that he can get some very valuable playing time for his reserves, especially going into the States. Dudley has that one grabbed away from him by the more experienced Outlaw. The secret to playing this game well is not to let that kind of thing ever happen again, or at least not too often. And Dudley, I'm sure, won't. Nice 2 points home by McCaldy. That is, there's not a starter on the floor now for the Maloney Spartans. Stacey Dargan in the corner. Potts. You know, I sometimes think there's too much. There's a great deal to say for overstudying. Study